Hello everybody and welcome to SkySaga Alpha 6. We are here at character creation and we are going to run through the first little bit of SkySaga Alpha 6 today, and then hopefully we're going to start on a bit of a quicker schedule for SkySaga Alpha 6. I might even have a new episode where we actually get going and get set up in the base out next week, because this is just going to be the very quick. We're going to run through the tutorial, we're going to do our first adventure. I'm going to stop halfway through and record a tutorial, and then we're going to do just a little bit more work, and then that'll be it for today. But of course, to start with, we need to actually get set up, get a character going. So I'm going to go and do the character that I always go for, my green lizard man. We're also going to go and get our green colors on, get our horns. Now, I did quite like the Viking style horns from Alpha 5, and I think we're actually going to stick with them. We're going to stay with these guys for this time around. Now, of course, I've built characters many times, so I'm just going to go with what I always go for, and I think that is this guy right here. This is me, Drac, for this game. We're actually going to give this guy a hair color as well, just because we can, even though it doesn't actually do anything at all. But there you go. Alright, so let's get into the game and see what's new in the tutorial, because there is a lot of new things. And here we are on my home island, and I can already see some brand new things you guys probably haven't seen before. So there we go, we've got some kind of barricades up in the windows there, which look really cool. Let's go over and pick one of those out and see what this thing actually is. So here we go, we've got large boarded up window. That is really cool. Check this thing out. That is obviously one of the new decor items for SkySaga Alpha 6, because that has not existed before. So we're going to run through this tutorial. This tutorial, the start is at least pretty similar to the way we have been. Now, I've started over here on an Arctic world because I actually don't know if the secondary islands that we can buy in this alpha are going to have portals on them or not. And there's a build that I've been meaning to do for a while. I wanted to do it in Alpha 5, but the secondary islands didn't have portals on them, and I had chosen the wrong starting island to do it. I needed the brown stone, the natural brown stone on the island to complete this build. So that's what I wanted to do, and now of course I can do that this alpha if those starting islands, secondary islands I should say, if those secondary islands don't have a portal on them. Anyway, we can get into that more later on. Of course, going forwards in this season, I want to be doing a little bit of work here on this island, but I'm also going to be building up all of the community-based builds again. So I'm going to get back onto the SheepBall island and create a few SheepBall stadiums. We're also going to be doing some Sharp Rock Challenge, PvP islands, and stuff like that. And I want to get all of those things up and running pretty quickly. Hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have all of those things up and running and ready to go. Now, like I said, this is all pretty bog standard right now, going down in here and creating a keystone fragment and all that kind of stuff, getting this all sorted. There's of course a chest down here, so we're just going to dump some of this extra loot in this chest because I don't really need it for this first adventure. I'm just going to run this first adventure as it literally run through it, because while there's going to be a few little bits and pieces in here, there's not really going to be a whole lot that we can do on this first adventure. We don't even have anything other than some stone pickaxes. Anyway, we're not here in this adventure, so let's go through this adventure. We need to obviously collect up a few different bits and pieces here. We're after the gems. We need to kill off these wolves as well. Killing wolves with pickaxes. This feels like the Sharp Rock Challenge all over again. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, I will leave a link to some of the Sharp Rock Challenges from the past down in the description below, so you guys can check out the Sharp Rock Challenge before it comes and it becomes a thing in SkySaga Alpha 6, because it is definitely going to become a thing in SkySaga Alpha 6. The most exciting thing, of course, about Alpha 6 is that everybody is together. There is no NA and EU servers anymore. It is all the one server, which means there's going to be a larger community around this now, and stuff like the Sharp Rock Challenge are going to have more people involved, which is going to be awesome. We really did need some more people involved. So watch out on the forums as well, because I am going to be posting on the forums very soon about getting some challenges set up and getting SheepBall set up and all of that kind of stuff. And let's just kill these wolves off as well. It's actually not too hard to kill wolves, or at least whelps, with these stone pickaxes. Now, the thing I want to quickly highlight, I picked this up just then. This is tempering dust. Now, this is a brand new item, which, once again, hopefully you saw in the tutorial I put out on Friday. But it is all about making armor and weapons. You need to use that stuff to upgrade metal into steel, and then you use steel to make any decent weapons or anything like that that you need. Alright, so that is it. This is the tutorial map over and done with. Like I said, there's really not a lot in here. We could just run through this thing. Let's pick that guy up as well. Open the main chest. And of course, there are 3 crystals in the chest as well. So realistically, you could just run through and collect the stuff out of the chest, and you would have done the tutorial. So I'm kind of taking this tutorial at a bit of a rush right now, because of course I did this tutorial, well, I've done the tutorial in previous alpha runs, and I've done this tutorial a lot of times now. It is also pretty quick and easy to go through. It's pretty straightforward. You just follow all of the prompts that they give you, and you make it through the tutorial pretty quickly, in fact. So we're going to jump over to the new City of Light, and I want to show you guys around here, because this place is amazing. It is so good. They put so much work into the City of Light now. So for those of you who don't know, this is the City of Light. Now, the City of Light is the brand new social hub, and it is absolutely stunning. Look at this place. So we still have 3 guilds from the last round. We've got the Settlers Guild, the Explorers Guild, and the Gladiators Guild over there. And then out the back here, we've got ships that do everything else. So if I have a look at my map, you can see we've got the ships. So this ship here is for the community quest challenges. This is the weekend trader. And then over here, we have the home islands, the secondary home island seller. And then we've got in amongst the bottom here, this is where the marketplace is. You kind of spawn right into the marketplace, which is really quite cool. And then one amazing thing, sitting all the way out the back here, out by the actual beacon pillar thing itself, which is that guy, which used to be the center, and it kind of is the center now as well. If we have a look, we're kind of, yeah, they could expand out through the back here and add more guilds and stuff to this place, and then this would become the center. Anyway, the reason we're here is this guy. He's the Treasure Amber expert. Now, Treasure Ambers probably don't make much sense to you guys at the moment, but what they are is a way of getting more loot. So this guy talks to you, and basically, Treasure Ambers look a little bit like this. I'm not going to buy any of these right now, because I don't really have any money at all. I've only got like 300. But you buy these things, or you find them in worlds, and you bring them back to this guy. He cracks them open, and they have treasure inside them. They have recipes, or they have tempering dust, or they have all sorts of wonderful things in them. So definitely be on the lookout for those. They're usually in the common worlds from what I've seen. So you need to go over there and check those out. And definitely grab some of those and bring them back here. Now, we're going to finish off the tutorial right now. So we're going to go talk to this guy and finish the tutorial off. So there we go. Finishing the tutorial, we'll get the sword and the crude short sword recipe. Now we need to take a quest, and then that is it. We are now finished the tutorial. So right here, I'm going to make a big cut. I'm going to record the video for getting started with SkySaga Alpha 6. And here we are at the end of the tutorial I just put up. So this is all now done and dusted. I've done up a just quick little run through of getting started, getting all of the bits and pieces set up. I've left some stuff out here. We're going to end up creating a new crafting area for SkySaga Alpha 6, but that's probably going to be in underneath here. Once again, I'm probably going to set it up in the portal room itself, as we usually do. We usually run down in here and set up all of our stuff down in the portal room. Of course, I haven't cleared this area out yet. I haven't really been working on this base area too much at all. That's definitely going to be something we do, but I think that's going to be something we do in the next episode. But right now, I really want to keep going and run some more forest quests. I've just got the Grey Steel Forest Blade, which is the sword that is going to let me actually run through and attack things properly and adventures. I've also got myself a Forest Charm, so I can, start looking at making more weapons and armor and all of that kind of stuff. But for now, I think we're going to run out and do our first green world properly here on SkySaga Alpha 6 Let's Play, so that I can kind of run around and get some more of those, and also kind of complete some of these forest mastery quests which are coming up on the side here. Because as soon as I do those, I'm going to be able to get more equipment, and we're going to be able to move on and kind of get through all of this stuff. I really want to focus on one mastery quest at a time, so we're going to focus on the forest for now, and once we've finished the forest mastery quest, we're going to go on and do the other ones. So let me know which of the 3 remaining biomes you want to see after we've done the forest quest, and then I'll prioritize the ones that you guys want to see. Okay, so here we are in world. Now our quest for this one world is to defeat 8 forest enemies, which isn't actually going to be too much of a hard task, because I plan on defeating everything that I come across, because I am really going to try and farm out those charms in this map and see how many charms I can get my hands on, because of course they are the thing that gets you better armor and weapons, at least in this early stage of the game. Once we get up to commons and uncommons and rares, there are different levels of these things, so we're going to want to get our hands on the higher levels, or the higher tiers rather. But for now, charms are the thing we need, so we're going to kill absolutely everything in our path on the way through. Okay, so here we go. We're at a location that used to be called a trapper camp, so we're actually going to come in here and see what we can find. Of course, they're now called an outpost. It's one of those things, having played this game for a few alphas now, I do sometimes get confused as to what the names for these things are, especially in this alpha where they've changed a whole lot of names for a whole lot of things, and then left some of the names the same, which is kind of confusing. But these guys are going down pretty easily. Now, I've heard rumored around the place that killing off the forest looters like that is actually the best way to get these forest charms, but of course I haven't had a real chance to come in here and test that out, but it does seem to be that you get a higher percentage drop off these guys than off any other mob. Once again, that's probably something we want to test out later in this alpha as part of a tutorial or a kind of SkySaga science type video. Here we are at the windmill. Now I've killed off a few different bits and pieces on the way over here. We're currently sitting at 5 forest charms, which is perfect because it means after this adventure I will be able to go through and create the chest plate, the forest chest plate, or at least the first level one, which is going to be awesome. That will be just a little bit more armor, because right now we're still in explorer's gear, which doesn't really give you any armor whatsoever. There we go, that's our 6th for this adventure, and I'm pretty sure that our armor that we can make is 3 of them. Yeah, so we've now got enough to build that twice, which is perfect, because you always want to make sure you have enough to repair and or rebuild any armor that you make. That does mean that we're going to have to be killing a lot of enemies in the common greens, just to have enough materials to kind of have armor and weapons and all that kind of stuff, which is a bit of a pain, but that's the way this is going, and it's the way they've got the progression tiered here in SkySaga Alpha 6. Going up. And there we go, 1 chest. Once again, not a bad chest, not overly good, but I did get some arrows, which is perfect. I want to collect as many arrows as I possibly can, because nowadays they are a handcrafted item, I do believe, and they are 1 wood plank per 1 arrow. And even though they take only 1 second, that's going to take a very long time to queue up and make. So the more I can find, the better, because I do intend to go through and start using a bow as soon as I find one here in SkySaga Alpha 6. Anyway, so now we're actually onto the main adventure. This thing is pretty standard, actually. It's a nice looking castle that we've seen before, and then of course the main section of the quest is down here and under this big mound of stone. There will actually be an entrance around here somewhere. Okay, so a little while later, it is now time to dive on down into this adventure. I managed to pick up 1 more forest charm, and I emptied all of the chests that were around in that place, just because, like I said, I need materials and resources right now. So anything and everything is coming along for the ride. Now this is one of the cool things I've done. SkySaga Alpha 6 is all of the main adventures are now split in 2. So there's an upper section and a lower section. So these come from various different places from the old Alpha 5. So this one here was actually from the Winter Village, I do believe. And then the one upstairs was a Light World castle. And as you can see, we've now got kind of two sections. This is a very short one. This is the shortest thing I think I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest. But that's alright, because we're going to get out of here pretty soon. And we can also go and continue with our Forest Mastery quest. Anyway, that is it. This is the first adventure done and dusted. Let's clear this chest out here and go home and build up this armor and then go talk to the Explorers Guild to move on with this quest. So here we go. Let's move on with the Forest Mastery quest line. So, open 10 chests in Common Adventures. I can do it! And now we've got gloves, or at least a glove recipe. So, given that we brought 7 back with us, 7 charms back with us, we can actually probably make up this armor. So let's go back to our home island, make up a bit of armor, and then get moving again. Here we go, time to craft up some armor. So I have my charms, I have some metal and some tempering dust to make some steel, and I also have some brown pelts to make leather. Now, funnily enough, that is actually going to be the roadblock here. I don't have enough leather to make both the armor and the gloves, so it's probably just going to be the actual armor itself, because it takes 4 leather here, and then also 4 leather for the gloves as well. But while the leather is crafting up, let's get some steel plate going as well. So the steel plate, we need a couple of those, and then of course the final element is these forest charms here. And once all of that is up and running, we can put this over into our armor forge and make up some half decent armor, which we'll be using to go out and do more adventures, and of course to complete this Forest Mastery keychain, or quest chain I should say. But we will be getting better armor later on, after we've got through a little bit more of this Forest Mastery quest chain. And again, out in another world, we're going to be doing a lot of adventuring in these early few episodes here on SkySaga Alpha 6, because there is lots to see and lots to explore, which is always a very nice thing in a game like this. So, like I said, we're going to be going out and doing a fair amount of this, and then once we've got ourselves set up a little bit, we've got a little bit further through the quest lines and stuff, we will start doing some of the big builds that I have planned for this alpha. So in this map we want to open 10 chests, so we're going to go out and find the secondary locations and start opening everything we can find. So I found our first location, and this is not a good sign. This may mean that we aren't actually going to be able to complete this quest inside this one adventure, because the Herbalist Hut just never has any chests in it. It used to have a big section in the floor that had some chests in it, or at least had a chest in it, one really big one. But they seem to have removed that in like 90% of the instances of this place. So we're now an entire location without chests, which is really, really not a good thing. There is of course a smithy over there, and then we seem to have a village as the main quest line. So we might still be in luck, but you never know. I'm going to track over and go to the smithy first. This is a very good start. We've only just made it over here to the smithy, and as you can see on the map, there is a chest just inside the door. That's perfect. Exactly what we want. There's one chest there, one chest here. There's a good few chests in here. That's a good start. That's kind of what we need for this quest. It's just lots and lots of chests and lots of adventures. Thankfully, with the new Forest Blade, I'm able to cut through a whole bunch of these guys pretty easily. I also haven't taken a whole lot of damage either, thanks to my new armor. And now we've just picked up some gloves. Now let's just take a quick look at these things. Oh, green leather. That's going to be a hard one to get hold of, because at the moment we're really only fighting wolves and getting brown pelt. But these are going to be quite useful. We're going to wear these just for the moment. They are about to break, and we'll make ourselves gloves when we get home. Maybe in the next episode, I think. In underneath here, you could actually find a golden chest if you knew where you were looking. So if we go back down in under here, we might just be able to find a golden chest. 1, 2, 3, drop down, and there it is. 1 golden chest. So that's going to help with everything, but it's also going to give me a sigil, which is perfect because this is our first sigil of Alpha 6. Awesome. Here we go. So we should be able to swap over to the torch sigil. These still have a few small bugs in them, but that's alright. For now, that should actually change over. Alright, time for the main quest. So This entrance is a little bit more civilized than the one we saw in the last adventure. There's also a couple of chests over here. So this is going to complete out the mastery quest. Bam, bam, bam. Look at that. One mastery quest complete. So let's run on out of here, and then we'll go back over to the Explorers Guild and move on and find out what the next line of this quest is, or the next quest in this quest line is. Okay, so after fighting my way through a kind of maze of skeletons kind of here, there, and everywhere, we're almost at the end of this adventure. So I have found a lot more chests down here in this adventure, which has been awesome, but of course I've already completed the mastery quest that we were at down here to do. So all this has been is just gathering more loot and all of that good stuff, but that's all awesome because of course I need as much gear as I possibly can, being brand new into SkySaga Alpha 6. Anyway, continuing on, we're going to go down and fight whatever is sitting in the boss chamber and then head back and finish off this quest. And then that will be it for today. I know it's been a little bit of a rushed one, but I really haven't had a whole lot of time. Alpha 6 has only been out for a very short amount of time right now. Alright, so that is the end of this adventure. Let us check out these last couple of chests. So, not great in this chest. Let's take a look at the final boss chest at the end here. Oh, we've got some armor. Awesome. Of course, this stuff is kind of broken, but that is okay. We're still going to be able to wear it. And we've also picked up some boots somewhere along the line that I don't realize I had. Probably picked those up off a dead enemy somewhere in amongst that stuff. Alright, so let's go over to the Explorers Guild and find out what is next. So here we are at the Explorers Guild. Time to look at the next quest. So Forest Master Quest number 3, defeat 15 skitterlings in common adventures. Alright, so skitterlings are those little bug things we've kind of seen around in some of the adventures I've already been on. So we're going to be able to take this, and now we've got some awesome new recipes. These are for the helmet and also for the boots. Now, this is really good because the helmet is actually quite cheap to make. The boots, we're going to hit the same problem we've had before with having not enough leather to complete all that stuff, but the helmet is just one plate and one forest charm, which is awesome, so we're definitely going to be building some of that up. But all that stuff is going to happen in between episodes, because this is it. This is the end of this episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please let me know if you have any questions or anything about SkySaga Alpha 6 in the comments, and I will try and answer them as best as I possibly can. But I will see you next time.